Hello, Minecraftians, and welcome to Realm News, episode 18. I am your host, the Dark Lord, the one who puts the real in Realm and expands your mind one block at a time. And I am here again today with my brother, the Sun King / Sam Howard, and he drove in from out of state for this episode today. And we are in my typical studio, so I apologize if the sound's a little bit off. We're in my kitchen today. I didn't have room in my little podcast studio here. And today I have a unique episode. I am going over past polls, but I'm asking the Sun King all about these polls and having him take it, getting his insight on it. I'm going to read some past comments, some new comments, maybe even say some new polls in this. So it's going to be an interesting episode. So Sun King, welcome back. Welcome face to face right here. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm glad to be back, bro. Despite prior technical difficulties, I think this is going to go smooth. I'm excited, though, to hear some poll questions and give my opinions.
Yeah, so we'll get into it in 1 second. Let me bring it up right here. Okay, Sun King, I want to start off with the first question here, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is one that's never been said on Realm News till now. And okay. I didn't get too big of a turnout on this one. 7 total votes because it's an obscure theory. It's a theory poll. Are chickens spies? And I said this. I have read an interesting theory out there that the chickens are spies. I went a little further with this. I believe these poultry voyeurs are spies for the pillagers. The woodland mansions have chicken and cat statues. Maybe they worship these little winged fiends. Supposedly, a chicken is always watching you, especially when being attacked. I haven't been paying attention, but let me know what you think. So there you go. That is what I said in that poll. I'll go ahead and say the majority of people say no on this with 5 votes. 2 people said yes. I was 1.
Okay.
I thought it was an interesting theory, so I said yes.
That's an interesting theory.
Did you know that they had statues?
I did not know that they had statues in Woodland Mansion because I haven't been able to find one yet.
Same.
As far as spies for illagers, I don't agree. I don't agree because we fought illagers before. And they do have witches, but I would, as far as that theory is concerned, I would say that chickens being true to being mindless little dinosaurs probably don't register on an emotional level when the player is getting attacked, and that can make them seem creepy. Because I do have a lot of chickens in Farthia.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They're in my game too. I complain about a lot in this show.
Yeah, they're everywhere. But and yeah, you can't really do much with the eggs
so
other
they're
than
watching
just
you.
Throw them, which is fine that they're watching me. But yeah, I've never had an illager attack in Farthia, and I have probably easily more chickens than I have people. So,
well, from what I gather, I read a theory. The only reason I posed this was because it was a theory I read from Reddit. I can't remember the source. And then it was a Game Rant. I think Game Rant article.
Nice.
Or something of that nature type of article that had this. And it had a picture. And I guess a lot of the time, they're maybe because they are everywhere. And they're more than likely to generate wherever you are.
Right.
But there's like when you're being attacked, there'll be a chick in the woods watching or somewhere obscure, kind of out of sight. And there's a pictures of them like always in the background during like attacks and creeper explosions. And people theorize that maybe they're kind of a camera for the illagers, and they know for tactic for attacks.
I would want
intelligentsia if you want.
I would want a lot more concrete evidence than a screenshot of a chicken being around while someone got blown up. Because I've been blown up
Well, what if
hundreds of times, and I've never seen a chicken watching me or noticed a chicken around beforehand.
what if the evokers are like Bran from Game of Thrones and can tap into the chickens and see?
What if they could? I mean, like I said,
I thought about that.
I have an army of chickens, and I've never had a creeper spawn inside my walls or anything like that. So even if they are, I don't know that they're watching anything more than a peaceful society. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. It doesn't hold water to me. If that was the case, then I imagine the evokers would be surrounded by a flock of chickens.
True.
You know, or if you went to an Illager outpost and there'd be chickens everywhere. But they have allays, they have sheep, sometimes they have iron golems and pins, but I've never seen them with like chickens.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
And that's just what I've read. I haven't seen.
And especially with creepers, you would
witnessed
assume
myself.
that they would be traveling with chickens or
You would
yeah.
think.
I think they're a harmless mob that really doesn't do much.
So you would dismiss that theory?
I dismiss that theory.
Okay.
Use them for feathers, use them for chicken meat. Get a fire sword, even better. Go crazy and cook some chicken.
I do want one of those. That's cool.
They're so
Yeah,
fun.
that was cool seeing you have that.
Yeah, so fun.
Well, let's move on to the next.
All right.
This one's more relevant, like my 3-parter over the harshest biomes, but this poll is, which of the 3 is the harshest biome out of these 3 I'm about to say?
Ooh.
And this had a big turnout, 86 total votes, and I'll list them now. Desert biome, snowy biomes, Badlands.
Badlands.
Well, you're with the winners.
Easy.
But it was close tie.
They're all harsh.
Desert had 34 votes. Badlands 35.
Oof.
I voted Badlands.
Yeah, all day.
Tundra came in with 17, by the way.
Not bad. A little surprising because polar bears have definitely got me a few times.
Me too.
They go feral around their baby polar bears.
I think it's mostly scarcity for me in the tundra.
Yeah, all you have is those rabbits.
But it's not that bad. You could survive out there with the rabbits.
Easy.
You have a rabbit farm.
I do have a rabbit pen.
I've never built one, but that...
Yeah. Just build them tall. Just build them tall, everybody, because those rabbits can jump. But yeah, that's useful if you have a leather worker in your village. They trade rabbit hides, so that's why I have a rabbit pin, is in order to get him up to master level and sort of make more emeralds. But
I suggested in the Snowy Biomes episode for people to pin rabbits and have a rabbit farm.
yeah, definitely,
And that's a good way to get leather and stuff while you're out in that harsh biome.
totally doable. Just build it up high because they can jump really high, and then you're good. And they breed really quick, and they're decent for experience. But you want to go with a cow farm if you're trying to get good experience.
Why do you say Badlands?
Well, our experiences, honestly, in your world, we built a gold mine in the Badlands in the
Depot X.
in the bowl. It resembles a bowl. It's
a crater.
A crater in the middle of these tall mountains. Is this flat Badlands area that we decided to build a base and a mine. And that was a huge pain. It was just riddled with mobs.
It was
all night.
It still is.
But I'll say this. I mean, that's a pretty even toss up. Just because in the tundra, my rail goes through the tundra.
Yes.
When you're riding at that thing at night, you can see dozens of mobs just clamoring around down on the icy tundra. So, it's easier to travel in the tundra though with a boat on the ice than it is.
And I have to make a correction real quick for all the listeners in that biome. And I had a comment also. I was misled. I read my research and I said that nothing else can spawn out there like hostile mobs except for strays. I was partially right.
Okay.
The reason I didn't see any because I was out in that biome so much that snow fell and collected and layered, stacked. Hostile mobs can't spawn in stacked snow. That's why I didn't see it. And I read an article or a comment or something that said that they don't spawn out there.
Okay.
I incorporated that into my igloo theory, saying that would be a safe place because no other hostiles can spawn.
Yeah.
I still stick with that theory because there's not as many. because simply there's snow stacks out there.
That makes sense,
It
though.
reduces the amount. It is safer for research. Also, things are slower in the snow stacks. So
True.
I still stick with that theory, but I was wrong. Hostile mobs can spawn out there. It's just they won't spawn in blocks with snow on it.
Okay, that makes sense.
I misread. So, but the Badlands, like I said, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of hostile mobs out there.
Yes.
Right? There's just a ton. I've seen
Lots
the
trying to kill
frequency
you.
of it is so much, but I see why the desert, and I said this in the Farthian Desert show or episode, the husks, they can roam during the day.
Yeah, and those suck.
And they blend in.
They blend in. They're hard to see. Yeah, and they'll sneak up on you. Yeah, Badlands easily, especially if you get caught out there at night. Good luck.
Yeah, if you get caught out there at night, that's
We
did our trek.
We did our trek
across there, and we had to turn around because we ran out of resources.
Just ran out of resources.
It was
simple as that. Well, and even the natural village we found in the Badlands, the citizenry of that village got zombified a couple of times on you, didn't they?
Which one?
Santa Fe.
Oh, that's a desert biome. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
It's technically
on
in the desert. It has that hoodoo right there, but it's technically old desert. Okay, folks. I know this sounds like an interruption, but I just got to explain we had a technical difficulty. Well, not really. My brother's visiting from out of state, and he brought his dog, and I have loud neighbors, and the dog started barking. That's why I had to cut off, and now we're back into the episode. And I left off saying that technically Santa Fe is not in the Badlands. It's right at the edge of the desert. And that's where that's at. There's a hoodoo overlooking it. But it is a harsh biome where it lies in the desert with the husks everywhere. But I can see why in this poll that the Badlands is the winner, because there's just more, I believe, more hostile mobs. It's just the frequency of them. It's just higher.
Yeah. Apologies, listeners. I brought my little doggy Maul along with me to this trip, and she's not very respectful of podcasting. But hopefully we've got her in another room, and we can continue without any interruptions.
Yes, and there will be one more break because this is going to be a 2-part episode. You'll catch the second part next Thursday. So I just wanted to say that, reiterate on that, I should say. Now, I would like to move on to the next question here, now that we learned again that the Badlands is the harshest biome, and the Sun King and I both agree on that as well.
Bring plenty of resources if you go to the Badlands, folks.
Yeah, lots of resources if you're going out to the Badlands, tons. Ooh. So the next question I have here, Sun King, is a pretty simple one. Well, actually, it's not that simple.
They never are.
No, this is actually, this was my biggest turnout with 111 total votes with this question. If you had only one basic tool, which of these would you choose?
Oh, okay.
And I said, if you were stranded in the middle of the overworld in a random biome that is unfamiliar to you, which of these listed items would you choose to have if you could only pick one? And I'll start with the list right now.
Lay it on me.
Would you take an axe, a pickaxe, a shovel, a hoe, a bucket, or flint and steel?
Oh, easily for if you're trapped in an unknown biome. You only had one tool. The hoe is the most useful. I'm kidding.
Some people did pick it.
Really?
2 people picked the hoe out of 111.
Those people are lucky and have a very rosy outlook on the overworld, because trust me, some of those biomes you are not surviving with a hoe.
No, you can't break anything except for ground.
You can just break the hoe.
Yeah, break the hoe. You can't attack anybody with it.
Serious answer though. And I think I'll be in the popular opinion here. Pickaxe.
Pickaxe for you?
You can punch wood.
Really?
You can punch dirt. You don't need a shovel. You don't need an axe to me. Pickaxe you can attack with, but you can also get the most, not the most rudimentary, but the this level up from the most rudimentary weapons, cobblestone. And then, like I said, you can punch wood. Or
Good
if you're in a
point.
biome like the Badlands, there is no wood. So what good is an axe, or the tundra?
Well, okay. I vote axe.
Really?
Yep.
Defend yourself, sir.
You're in the winner, though.
Yeah, okay.
76 votes. The majority went for the pickaxe.
Oh, well, see, I thought I'd be in the popular opinion with that one.
Yeah, and I think I said my thought on why you people won that
You
went with the
people.
pickaxe. I was second place category, 26 votes. The axe.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but okay. Let me list it real quick. 26 voters went for the axe. The 76 people went for the pickaxe.
Yeah.
0 on the shovel.
Yeah.
2 people voted for the hoe.
Weird.
4 on a bucket.
Okay.
3 flint and steel.
Okay.
Now I went with the axe, and let me explain why. Now,
Please.
when I first enter a world,
Mhm.
what do you typically make first? Do you make a pickaxe first?
Yes, so I can get
You do?
cobblestones. I punch wood, make a
Yeah.
wood pickaxe, and then I go and get
Do you?
cobblestones. Yeah, that way I can just upgrade. Then I can make a cobblestone axe.
This
That's
is
always second place to me.
okay. I punch wood, and then I make crafting table, and then a wood axe to cut down more wood faster.
Crafting table obviously is
And then- but then I make that to cut down wood faster, and I use it as a weapon in case because it's more efficient I think it's deadlier than a pickaxe,
that makes sense.
a
But
wood pickaxe.
so you always start in the morning, so I'm just going straight
I'd
for
make-
safety and tools.
But I make a wood pickaxe first, not and then
Yeah, wood pickaxe.
after I make an axe, because I collect wood first for torches,
I think that's
because I think
backwards.
that's more important to get,
I
and I can
truly-
still use a wood pickaxe.
I
or-
see your point. I'm truly though punching wood pickaxe, getting cobblestone because 1, it's better to build with and
Okay.
stronger, sturdier,
Okay.
and then 2, you can
I
make
agree.
a cobblestone axe. So even if by a hair I'm making a pickaxe first, it's still a pickaxe first, then an axe, because you can punch wood easier than stone. Agreed.
Agreed, but
Okay.
I go for the wood
Thank
collecting.
you.
I collect the wood first. That's my main goal.
Wood too, yeah. I mean, you need it for charcoal, then make torches.
I do before shelter.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, punch wood first. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why I don't collect stone first. Is what I'm saying. That's
Well,
why I
you
don't
need
need. That's why I
cobblestones.
don't need a pickaxe right away.
But you need cobblestones to make a furnace to make the charcoal to make torches.
True, but I first just grab a bunch of wood, and then I
Well-
go and do that.
Even regardless of charcoal, you need to break coal, which you need a cobblestone
Okay,
pickaxe.
so I think there's 2 teams. Obviously, I thought
One's
that
winning.
pickaxe just won because it's
One's
iconic
winning.
with the game Minecraft.
It is, but also it breaks the hardest materials. So that's
It
why
does.
and the most useful. I mean, cobblestone is arguably the most useful. So,
Well, I was okay.
team pickaxe. Go.
We differ in our opinion,
Yes.
and you guys won, so I have to give you that.
Thank
so,
you.
So I mean, and I do see reasoning in it because I usually dig into the side of a hill with if I first enter a world with a pickaxe.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to waste time building a structure typically.
No, just,
Because that structure is still going to have. I wouldn't be able to sleep throughout the night.
yeah, just burrow. Yeah, I get it.
Well, I mean, we could probably build one fast enough for now, but
But no, just rudimentary. Yeah, you want to burrow and then
the pickaxe is the
away
best
from
way
the-
to do that.
Okay, well then I'll ask you this, just in maybe the wrap up to the axe pickaxe debate. Do you carry a diamond pickaxe or a diamond axe?
Like always with me?
Yeah.
A diamond. Wait, say that again.
Do you carry a diamond pickaxe or a diamond axe? Like if you're prioritizing,
I don't carry anything diamond on me.
not anymore.
No, I keep my diamond stuff in certain areas, and I'll grab it out of that chest before I go to that
Okay.
certain mine.
Do you use a diamond?
I've
axe?
lost too much stuff. I don't use diamond pickaxes.
You don't?
Or, I mean, I don't use. Sorry, diamond axes. I don't.
Okay.
I use diamond pickaxes because I mine more, right? Because you need that for. Because mining, it speeds up your mining so much more.
Exactly. And the axe.
I do enchant my axes though, my iron axes.
I do too, Because unbreaking is good on those because you can use them
Yes,
long.
I do any degree of unbreaking. I'm happy with.
Agreed.
And that's something I've recently been doing is enchanting those.
Enchanting is always the way to go.
My sword's always enchanted. I haven't been enchanting my armor lately. I know I'm deviating from this, but just because I've died so often doing research for this show.
Yeah.
I lost trim armor. I've lost
Oh,
like a lot. I've lost
That hurts.
diamond pickaxes.
oof, that hurts.
Yeah, I've lost precious stuff, and I'm just like, I'm just going iron solely, pretty much. I'll enchant my sword. I carry a enchanted axe,
Nice.
and I keep my diamond stuff in designated areas where I mine specifically for that stuff.
Nice. Well, I'm not researching a podcast when I play, so I carry a diamond sword and a diamond pickaxe.
I
but
noticed.
never a diamond axe. Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah, and I've been getting into enchanting pretty big. Also, not to deviate, haven't found any trim armor, but enchanting your iron armor is really helpful. I think I have respiration on my helmet.
I want to get
and
that
like
stuff.
projectile protection on my chest plate, I think, to help with arrows from those skeletons, which we all hate. Enchant your gear if you can. Start like I said, cow farm. Gets you the best XP, in my opinion. I'm sure there's videos out there that can get you better XP, but
Yeah. Let's read some comments here because I'm interested. The flint and steel, what would you use that for? 3 people voted for flint and steel.
I can't imagine opening a nether portal and burning stuff.
That's
about it.
Can you burn a cow? Will that turn into cooked beef after it dies?
Oh, that's interesting. I'd imagine that would work, right?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking after I shot that show and I mentioned this poll because I kind of joked I was like, I think those 3 people are pyromaniacs because you could catch a forest on fire. But I start thinking maybe there's a use I wasn't.
Can you catch mobs on fire if you get attacked at night?
I've actually done that. You can sit there and just catch things on fire.
Okay,
which is kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
Honestly, I mean, I
but
don't
you have
know
to
why.
Get close to them.
Yeah. I wouldn't be doing it to a creeper.
No.
Let me read here.
Yeah.
Terry Yotes. Terry Yotes says, if I am stranded with only one forever, I pick pickaxe, as all other things can be obtained without tools. But if I need to just travel, then bucket is God tier.
Travel with bucket?
Yeah, bucket. And
it does save you from fall damage.
People, in that video, fall damage, which I never thought of, but also for transportation and elevators. You can swim up. If you fall into you can get into caves from the top.
Oh, sure, make a stream.
I never thought about that until I did this poll. And make a stream, and then you can get back up instead of a ladder system.
That makes sense. Yeah, buckets are very useful. That's not a. To me, that's not as jokey as the flint and steel seem like the obvious outlier, and the hoe to me, which I'm very surprised. Shovel didn't.
Farmers, I'm guessing those people are just really into crops,
which is cool. But the question is any biome. So if you're in the desert, you can't really do anything with a hoe. But to each their own. We all have our favorite way to play.
Yeah, I'm going to have to experiment with the flint and steel and see if that cooks cows after you set them ablaze.
That would be interesting.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
I don't know. I'd have to look into that. But yeah, pickaxe won by a long, long ways. Now, let's move on to the next. Let's see here. The next question is, are mushrooms controlled by red mushrooms, the ones that grow on their head? And I said, yeah, that's it. You have these biomes, so you're a good person to ask this. And it was that was the question, but it's just yes or no.
The Last of Us.
23 people voted on this.
Do the red mushrooms on their head control?
Yeah, are they controlled by the fungus essentially?
Yes, I would say that. Why not?
You agree with that?
Yeah, why not? Just like the drowned can't leave. Well, they can leave their biome, but the drowned can't leave the ocean without setting ablaze, and mushroom cows are only found in the mycelium biome, so that makes sense to me that they just got overtook and then they're they're so infused with mushrooms. Why wouldn't it control their thoughts and their brains? You know.
A person pointed out also their eyes. I never looked at that. They're blank, black eyes, similar to the zombies.
Makes
which
sense.
was that to me suggests that they're taking over.
Do we know when the mushrooms were introduced?
That's something I never looked into when I made that show. I didn't really incorporate the history of yet into the show.
Because I'd be curious if that was
of-
around when The Last of Us came out. Could have been like an homage to that or something.
I don't know if
The game.
the game,
Yeah, 'cause that
because the
came out
game's
a
been
while
around for a
ago.
long time, and that's a good point.
You know?
I'm not sure about that, but you heard my episode and the whole theory on how I think that my whole
Yeah.
theory of the fungal or the mushroom or some fungal outbreak
Right.
from sailors, what I call it, a sailor apocalypse theory, pretty
Yeah.
much, of how it was transported by sailors, because these are
Showing
only
off
on
shipwrecks.
islands in remote areas.
Yeah,
in
and showing
deep
off
seas.
shipwrecks and stuff too. Yeah.
Yes.
Play into that.
And then it crashed. The incubation period was longer than the trip back to civilization. They introduced it back, even the dead corpse, maybe.
Right.
I read an article back in, this was common, not just black plagues, but plagues did break out on ships
Oh yeah.
throughout history.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes,
Death ships.
would just be found floating.
Yeah.
And the whole crew dead, or they would bring it back in. Or sometimes they wouldn't, like the harbor master wouldn't allow that ship to come back in. They would let the crew die off just outside of shore.
Right.
And then retrieve it after a certain amount of time.
100%. And so I listened to that episode. I didn't agree because it doesn't fit with every other. It's a good theory, but as far as like a unifying theory, I believe more that Minecraft and the overworld has a lot of things going on rather than one thread tying it. And that might just be me being content with the fact that it's random and not seeking so much for answers, but kind of discovering it as I go. But I do believe that, yeah, the mushroom biome, the mycelium biome does influence the cows, of course, and it takes them over. It changes their whole biology. You can get mushroom stew out of their udders rather than milk.
Yes.
But
it's interesting.
If I saw more mushroom-based zombies or mycelium-based
The bog
villages,
that's coming in 1.21.
Okay, so they will introduce it. So maybe.
But that's a rotted corpse too, with mushrooms growing off it.
Right,
It's
but
a
that
skeleton.
kind of supports that theory.
It does. It does give it a little bit more weight to it.
But also brings into question regular zombies as the mob, but also zombified villagers, which we know is a disease you can cure.
Yes,
Who
but
look
with that
different than the
species
mob.
though, because a zombie is a different form. It is a different physical appearance.
Right. That's what I mean.
So maybe that's why there's only a cure for the villager, but not one for that, what people dub the ancient builder.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So
Because
that's
it's a
Steve
different
essentially.
species.
Right. Okay.
Hominid in form, but
Okay.
not an ancient builder.
Okay.
That might be why my theory of the Igloo Research Labs,
Right.
the golden apple works for them
Right.
to cure them, but that may not have worked for them.
The ancient builders.
That was
obviously.
it worked for the lab rat, but it didn't work for
the
them yet.
right. The
It
mob.
was they were on the right path,
right, just not quite there. Yeah.
But no, I don't know. What about the mycelium? If you take that block and it's spreading,
Which I want to do more tests on that as far as like floating islands and seeing if I can turn regular dirt
Yeah.
into mycelium.
I want to see that actually play out.
I need silk touch though, enchantment.
You'll get that, but these are isolated biomes. They're they're the rarest biome in the game.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
So I don't know. What about something that also leads to me that there may be a fungus in the air, and everything's acclimated to it? Are the piglins that transform into zombies immediately, almost after they come into the overworld? into zombie piglins. They
True.
transfer from piglin to zombie.
True.
They have an interaction with the atmosphere.
True, but again, I would find more evidence in that theory if when a villager got zombified, they also had some form of like mycelium or mushrooms
green.
on their bodies. Well, the green, yes, but that's a typical zombie
It is
overworld color.
And I probably am stretching it too far with the mottled green in that mycelium block.
If it was that unified, I think you would be able to tie that thread easier with the zombified villagers or the zombies of the typical mob having more of a mushroom-like appearance, depending on where they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. But I think what I meant earlier with I don't know that there's one thread, is that they're biome specific. I mean, there's biome specific skeletons and zombies in the Badlands, and there's biospecific skeletons in the tundra too. And you only find witches' huts in the swamps, you know. So so I think maybe that's why I agree. Mushrooms are controlled by the mushrooms on their heads because they're in the mycelium biome. Similar to how a tundra skeleton is going to have the rags and the tatters all over it and look different than another skeleton in a prairie biome.
So just a biome-specific mob for nothing else other than that?
I think so. I think that specific biome affects specific creatures differently. Villager variants. I mean, jungle villagers are different than tundra villagers are different than plains villagers. So I don't know if it's one thing that's doing all the zombification, like the mushroom spores, or if it's similar monsters, but the different biomes affect them differently. So they have different points of origin. You know.
I understand.
Yeah.
We'll get back more onto zombies.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the next one real quick.
Definitely.
Now, the next question I have here was interesting. Not the biggest turnout votes, 30 total votes on this, round number. And the question was, which is your biggest threat? And it's 5 choices.
Okay.
And these are all hostile mobs in the overworld that you see typically. And right when you enter the game, at night, you'll see.
Cool.
So I'll start with this. Zombie, creeper, skeleton, spiders, enderman.
Okay. I think I'll be in the popular opinion again. Creepers.
Creepers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go creepers. I hate them.
They were the winner with 16 votes.
Ugh, just the worst.
Yeah, the creepers they're horrible.
They're horrible.
I should have put in I didn't put in zombie variants in this. That was a different poll.
Oh sure. Or witches. Witches and creepers might have been close because they throw those potions, and if you're not wearing armor, they can take you out pretty quick.
The witches are horrible. And they can throw them rapid too. They throw those rapidly.
Well, and skeletons too. You can kind of dodge their arrows, but if you're not prepared and you don't have armor, man.
Let me read the results real quick since I forgot to on the last poll. So there's zero people vote for zombie, which is kind of sad.
I mean, zombie children.
I don't think they think about the hordes.
True.
16 for creeper, 11 for skeleton, second place.
Nice.
0 for spiders, 3 for enderman. So there's the results. Didn't forget that one. 0 for zombies. That's shocking to me.
That's a little wild.
I think people forget they're terrible. Yeah, the baby zombies are horrible.
But zombies are always easily killed because they have to get so close to you, you know.
But they get close easy. To me, they pop out nowhere.
But that's where I think the creeper beats them because they sneak up the same, but they just blow up.
Yeah,
it just where the zombie is going to hit you, and it's what, a heart or so, heart and a half, maybe.
I think it might be a half heart, maybe a heart.
Yeah,
I can't quite remember.
And you don't get overwhelmed too easy because you can sprint off.
True.
Where skeletons can shoot you while you're running away.
And
creepers are just the worst, especially if you're stuck at night. If there's one isolated during the day, you could take it, but At night, you're focusing on one sneaks up behind you and just
True.
Predator, and you're done. So
True.
creepers suck.
Creepers are horrible, and
Yeah,
I've been
I'm not
killed
a
so
fan.
many times and they mess up your buildings.
But they're so iconic. I mean, they're just
That's what I said. They're iconic to
they're
the game.
the original.
And
so
I think
unique.
they add a lot to the game, being just that random blown up and blowing your structures up forces you to
Pivot.
Yeah, pivot. And a lot of players, like, that Japanese tradition of, like, if you break something, you, like, put back with gold seam.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
It's like the same thing in Minecraft, like rebuild it with a different texture of your building when they blow it up. So you kind of see the mark. Like, it gives that war-torn look.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Maybe use copper to fuse it together or something.
Yeah.
Or make it look fused together. Yeah,
or use gold.
Yeah, or gold. Yeah, if you have gold blocks to spare.
Like if you're eating golden carrots.
Yeah, if you're eating golden carrots, using gold blocks to build buildings, you're doing way better than we are.
You're probably in creative mode.
Most likely. If you're doing it in survival, that's impressive. That's impressive, everyone.
Now let's move on to the next, and then we're going to end this part of this week's part of the show.
Okay.
And then you guys will have to hear the next half for next week. Sorry about that, listeners. So I'm going to go to the next. Are creepers revered by villagers? Kind of ties into the whole creeper, the cleric's cloak, episode 1.
If you haven't listened to that,
no poll.
Okay, go listen to that episode, everybody.
Yeah, it wasn't my best because it was my first ever, but so excuse all the ums and filler words.
Good information. Listen to the episode and pause this one and then come back.
But this had 12 votes. Creepers revered by villagers. I said in this, I'll read verbatim underneath. Have you ever noticed the cleric's garb? No, I mean really look at it. Well, you may have noticed the emblem of a creeper's face embroidered upon his back in the midst of purple. Does this show reverence towards the creeper, or is there some other reason to sport this emblem on such beautiful threads in a regarded occupation amongst these simple people? I'd like to conduct a poll, and I read the poll to you. So it was yes or no. Most people say no with 8 votes out of the 12. They do not revere the creeper. 4 people say yes, they do revere the creeper. What do you think, Sun King?
I don't have to think about this one. I listened to the episode and I voted on the poll. I'm a yes.
You're a yes.
I'm a yes.
Okay.
It's too. Whether or not you agree,
it's too apparent.
Whether or not you disagree with a few things in the Dark Lord's summation of the cleric's cloak, it's too obvious. It's in the bricks. It's in their temples. It's literally on the back of their religious garb.
Which he is a religious character, just the title cleric.
And notably, he trades rotten flesh, which is creepy. So
yes,
their religion, just based on trade and on that pattern, appears to be worshiping the thing that they see most concretely, which is terrifying monsters. Because you don't get a lot of good I'm hesitant to say angelic sort of miracles in the overworld. All you get is harsh reality and terrible monsters coming to your door and trying to kill you.
All day.
So that's what they tangentially see. We have evidence of their portals everywhere, even though they're dismantled.
Yes.
So we know that they've done nether travel, and that's the most concrete other realm to them. So what if they are, in theory, of course, a society that is based around the tangential reality that there is another dimension of monsters, and that's the only thing they know.
So, well, the villagers didn't build those portals.
It was the builders.
Yes.
Okay.
Because villagers can't go through it.
Well, regardless,
they can.
Regardless, they have to have some idea when one of them gets hit by lightning that they're transforming into a witch and not a benevolent.
True.
A good-natured magic user. They're turning into an evil potion-throwing, crazy witch. So I think with their realities being dark in the overworld and based around survival, yeah, they'd revere the creeper that can come and destroy buildings and take holes out of the ground and destroy bunches of villagers. I buy that 100%. And from what they trade,
I
Rotten
just
flesh is weird.
I just think it's too apparent. Like you said, why would they put the creeper's face on the religious figure of the community, on his attire?
Right.
That's not just an Easter egg. That's just right there.
Yeah, it's iconic. Like we discussed, the creeper's face is iconic just as a creature.
It
to
is almost the
us.
face of Minecraft.
Yeah, but for that to be represented in the desert temples and the blocks there, it just shows that because it's ever present. Even when I was discussing
Yes.
the different biome based, different
This
variants
is
of
something that's
skeletons, creeper's going to look like a creeper no matter what. It's going to do what a creeper does, run at you and blow up.
It does, and no matter what cleric, they always have that. No matter what biome.
Well, and even just to theorize on the religion, it could be reverent of it because it is so universally uncaring. It just will go to whatever's alive and blow it up, or it might be even just to serve as a reminder of like the harsh realities of the world and like
True.
The
True.
safety of the temple. Who knows? But I think it's apparent, and even in that episode, that's why would they be so prominent in their religious temples and things,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Beats me.
Yeah, has to be reverence or worship to the creeper. I think I agree with that. So yes.
Okay, and that's obviously I agree with that theory too because I came up with it.
Nice.
Let me see here. This person, Dry Potential 5790, says, I think it is just a design. While they may revere creepers since they're monsters, they probably don't. You may be sort of right if you stretch for it. Maybe they're treated like wearing a cloak with an eagle/bear/other cool animal emblem. A virtuous animal, but not one that is celebrated because it is, in the creeper's case, still a monster. Also, remember, clerics are potioners. And what is an important ingredient in potions that come from creepers? Gunpowder. This is probably like a librarian wearing books on their head. It shows their job. Do you think it's a job title?
No, I don't agree. I agree with. I agree with the gunpowder thing. That is a very interesting theory, and that makes sense. And they do have the brewing stand as their job post.
Yes.
So that is a very interesting theory. But I will say, bears and eagles and other representative animals were, from what I understand, revered because of traits that were personified to them. Like owls are wise.
Yes.
Eagles are brave. Bears are strong and fearsome. So they were in a way revered as the knowledge, as symbolic of something in the ancient world, and definitely fit into a lot of legends and stuff. I mean, that's why the Greek myths, the gods were always turning into different types of animals because that's representative to the people at that time of a certain attitude or like character trait. So I think it's the very good points. The potioner thing and the fact that they have to use a brewing stand is interesting, and the gunpowder thing. And if I had seen more examples,
I forgot about the gunpowder,
which is used in the desert temples when you dig through the pattern on the floor to get
it
there.
Is, and also something that the trader, or at least my wandering trader, which I didn't mention in that episode last week, was red sand and gunpowder used to make TNT. And he trades that.
Interesting.
That was one reason why I linked him to deserts. So yeah, besides his attire,
I'll say valid points, but again, I'm sticking with the reverence and the religious aspect because to me, it fits my headcanon. I've built 3 temples now in Farthia, because I like culture and religion are very tied together in history, and so that's fun for me to just have that besides libraries, besides art galleries, and just the variation of it I like. So
yeah, it really adds to headcanon. Yeah. I think it also fits. I don't think Mojang would have placed that right there on, especially purple being a a symbol for royalty.
Yeah, very royal color because it was hard to get those dyes back in the Middle Ages. Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty common historical knowledge too.
Pinks and purples. Yep.
So I'm sorry, in him working the brewing stand and the magic involved and his symbolism being cleric, which is a religious title.
Which could be, like
It's
Viking shamans as also medicine people who would, mix up different, not
hallucinogens.
Yeah, hallucinogens, sure. But also different, different salves and things like that, and like just
healing potions.
Healing, yeah. I mean, for lack of a better word, because I can't think of it at the moment, but yeah.
Tonics.
Yeah, so I think they're more similar to that where rather than the modern day religious idea of like a cleric or someone being like very holy, they're more, yes, they have things to trade and they'll treat people but they also have their specific reverence, which is the creeper.
Listen to this. Yes, Hut Library 5560 says, yes, the Blockpedia tells you that creeper are worshipped in the chiseled sandstone. Now, villagers don't use chiseled sandstone, but that's fact. Another fact are how they are all over Minecraft dungeons, which I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah, we don't do that much.
In layers places, sorry, I'm quoting directly, in layers places from mansions to villages, and how there's a creeper face in the cyan terracotta in the trail ruins too.
Oh, wow.
So I guess creeper faces are even prevalent outside of vanilla Minecraft, the original.
Oh, wow. Well, and even if Mojang just wanted to use their most popular monster's face all over, that still indicates that the creatures that live within it, would be reverent of it enough to carve it into a stone.
Yeah.
I mean, or at least aware of it enough. And if it's that scary, then that comes with a little reverence. It's like old Greek mythologies of like Narcissus playing in the river, looking at himself. He fell in. That's just to warn kids not to go into the woods and fall into a creek.
That's a good way to look at it.
Even as a cautionary thing, it's definitely within the legend of the world, any overworld, just because of that, I think. So that's why I listened to your app in 100. That's why I voted yes. One of the few.
Himuro Killer says creepers were created by humans, more specifically the humans in the desert.
Interesting.
I mean, the desert temples have a lot, I would say, the most symbolism out of all the temples.
I would say that art and religious art is more reaction rather than, and yeah, I'm rusty on my art history here. It's been years since I've been to school, but is more reactionary to the imagery and the stories of the time than it is to like, this is a laboratory or something that was man-made by us, because there's no golem spawn to protect villagers. But no golem iconography is found without the overworld, as protectors of them. It's only so that's interesting. I mean, I would caution to say that since creepers are the same in every biome, that desert people saw creepers the same as plains clerics saw creepers, and they realized their awesome explosive power. And
yeah,
as far as origin, I don't have a grand theory.
You don't have a grand theory?
I don't.
What about the block of TNT and them?
They're so weird. I mean, that's how I could see that they would be man-made. But do we think
or manipulated
builders?
That's what I suggest in Cleric's Cloak. As part in there, I didn't really delve into that, but I said that they were. My whole theory on the creeper is that block of TNT, that they're a natural entity that evolved in the overworld.
Yeah.
That they were peaceful at one point.
Right. And then
the builders, after the zombie outbreak, used this creature that's abundant in all biomes, planted TNT in it.
Okay.
As a defense, because it can blow out hordes. It can blow up mass quantities.
True.
It has a 4-block radius killing.
So did they
and
create them
multiples.
flawed because they usually rush players, they don't rush mobs?
Something I kind of delve into that because of the music disc sim. I wanted to go. I have not ever said this yet, but my theory is that the music disc is software.
Oh, interesting.
However, that doesn't. I haven't really. I'm not going to really specify too much into that. My thing is, I kind of summed up in episode 1 was that they developed these as something as a defense mechanism against the zombies. But guess what? They didn't like humans do in real world. Don't think their best plans all the way through.
No.
These things blew up their walls and let them in.
Well, and how about this?
You know?
How about this? They are green like zombies, so it's possible that whatever organic machine they created got zombified, and that's why they're passive around zombies.
Perhaps.
You know?
My thing was going to be a software glitch.
Okay.
Something occurred in the software.
Well, I think because their color is similar, we could argue that they're zombified. Villagers could get zombified.
Well, there's also a spore theory that when they explode, they produce spores that release.
Oh,
that's that people have suggested, and some people have suggested that they're made of leaves. That they might be a vegetation instead of what type of animal are they? We all know that was a glitch.
Yeah,
but they just kept
actual
that
organization. Or yeah,
origination. It was a glitch in the making of it, but they kept it, and now there's just crazy theories around it.
I'd lean towards I don't know. And creepers aren't in the Nether, are they?
No.
Okay. So we can't trace their origin point to the Nether as well.
Which may be why people say there's spores all over the old world. We just don't see it. And also why piglins turn into zombified piglins when they cross over.
Well, I would say that's some interdimensional type of business. I don't know why the builders and villagers are the only ones to be able to go back and forth, but I don't know. I don't know. The creepers, I like their mysterious origins and that they're hard to pin down, but I'll say that I believe in my head canon and from the cleric's cloaks and from desert temples that they have been around for a very long time, enough to be so etched into the brains of the villagers and other creatures that they carve sandstone for it and then they weave it into their cloaks. So I don't know if they even know the origin enough to know that that's the only one that gets revered by them. Not even the golems that protect them are revered like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever it is.
We're going to get into golems in the second part.
Okay.
We're going to wrap this up, but I want to hear what did you have more to say on that?
No, that's what I find supports it. Absence of thinking outside of the actual game, of what's literally in the game, is that the cleric's cloaks do have the creeper motif on them. The desert temples have sandstone carved to look like the creepers' faces. That, to me, points to some sort of reverence, and a specifically religious reverence towards the creepers, because they blow up holes.
A person that I am actually a moderator with that has their own subreddit called All Minecraft Lore, who goes by The Confused. They kind of had something interesting. They said something simple, but perhaps the desert temples were where they manufactured the creepers. I mean, there's TNT in the archaeology. Some of the loot is gunpowder. There's a lot of gunpowder found in the desert, in drops and whatnot. And in gunpowder in the desert temples in the hidden room.
Sure.
So I don't know. That was interesting.
That's interesting, but
maybe.
Then I would question.
To me, it's a religious. Maybe it was converted. It may, like in times of war.
Sure.
How temples were used for makeshift hospitals and whatnot. Sure. Maybe.
I would just think it's like maybe like Dune, where the sandworms are irreverent. They're destructive and they're crazy, but they're also so majestic and pervasive and just such a part of that reality that they have to make religious myths about them. Same as the creeper. That's in my mind how it is. Whether or not they're actually in worship, like, please don't blow us up, protect us, like, don't attack our village, or if they're like, fear the creeper, remember the creeper, stay away from him. Like either way, it's such an it has affected the overworld so concretely that these villagers and people are making motifs with creeper faces. I mean, there's a painting with a creeper.
Yeah.
So
we'll get into the paintings here in the second part too.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, I think that's why I voted yes. I agree. Cleric's Cloak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Cleric's Cloak it is, but the poll suggests otherwise. People don't think they worship it, but maybe we'll change people's minds. With that said, everybody, we're going to have to wait till next week to hear the second part to this. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Until then, the Dark Lord signing out. And Sam, anything to say?
Glad to be back. Glad you had me. Have fun Minecrafting, everybody.
We'll see you all next week.
Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this episode, please follow me wherever you listen to podcasts so you can get my latest weekly episodes sent directly to you. Send this podcast to all of your friends that love Minecraft and to learn new knowledge. Comment on each episode and take a poll, and don't forget to rate the show. This will help me improve it. You can reach me at bio.link/realmnews. Again, you can reach me at bio.link/realmnews. There you will find the Discord. Let's build a Realm News community, folks. You can also find my email there and all my other social networks. There you will find some of the cool articles and videos from my research, polls, and Minecraft-related content.